there, and you worked there 7 years as a volunteer. I think the main, or this general purpose behind it, and the general purpose was to tell us about Mather Community Campus, but then you had the specific purpose was why the program is needed. That was more or less what I got from your discussion. I think it was very well organized as far as the information, and you obviously put a lot of work into this, and you gave us a lot of examples, and I thought that it was very informative for all of us. I understood that to be the informative method. You provided the examples, that was really good. Your eye contact, your vocal variety, your volume, I thought were all very good for the audience, and I thought that was awesome. As far as improvements, I would say that an attention getter would be helpful. I think in the beginning you just kind of came up and you started talking about Mather Community Campus. I think possibly ask us, have any of us been homeless, or do we know any homeless, and what would we do in that situation? Maybe something like that would kind of get us, suck us into the presentation and get us thinking about this program and how it could help us or a friend. We knew somebody that had been homeless before, or if we felt like we were on that verge at some point in time. Also, I noticed that you were hugging the podium a bit. You were standing close to the podium, and then at one point you were clenching the podium. So that would be something that you would want to watch. I would just back off, make it so that you don't have that dependency. I think that would be very helpful. Finally, I think that the general and specific purpose should be communicated kind of up front. My general purpose is, even though you don't want to be overly organized and overly by the book, or making it seem like a prepared speech, you want to communicate to everybody the specifics behind it, because that was one of the things that I was trying to address in your book when we were doing the feedback for you in the book. This is a project that was that was a major issue that they asked about. Was the general purpose communicated? Was the specific purpose? So overall, I thought it was interesting. I thought it was well organized. You had a lot of examples. It was an excellent presentation for the audience regarding the eye contact, vocal variety, volume, etc. But you just had a few items needed. Avoid the podium and give us more concrete, and use good intention getter. And there we go. Thank you.
The second evaluator is Eric Cross. He will evaluate the second speaker, Jonah. Welcome, Eric.
Hello, Toastmasters, and especially HR. Quite a speech. I'll tell you, when you get this off the top of the head, like, hey, do a speech right now, it's such a challenge. So I really appreciate you taking this type of thing on. It's really difficult. I've done this a few times. It's really tough. So I think you did a great job. But you are a very experienced Toastmaster, so I'm going to be a little more harsh than I would be, because you've been so many positions to governor. You're great at this. Well, you did a little bit of stiff, uncomfortable thing at the beginning, because you had your hands on the podium here, sort of nervous, you're up close, sort of soft, and then I think you were trying to formulate, well, where am I going with this? And your title, like, when do you give up the fight? I thought, well, where's this going? But I could see as you were going along, suddenly it clicked. Like, I'm going to use this as a forum to talk about Toastmasters and goals. So I could see you putting it together as you were standing there. And then as you became confident and you're like, this is something I'm passionate about, this is something I really, then suddenly you're relaxed, your gestures are awesome. Textbook, perfect, wide, you were doing all the motions. And then you were even referring to the word, which everybody seems to forget to do that sometimes, but bicycling and balance, you incorporated that in. And then you were talking about model speech, you kind of related some things we had seen. And one thing I really liked on top of all that was getting people involved, getting some interaction. You got the joke about bicycling, then you were asking some questions. The downside, though, was as you got into that, and you did turn your back, so you started getting a little bit of meshed into the details. Well, how many areas and how many areas are in a division? And I think a question or two about that to get people active and thinking is good. But when you sort of got buried into the structure of it all, I think you started losing some interest. At least me personally, maybe not other ones. But I found some of that interesting, but you got a little too deep into it. So I think you need to break out of that, keep that level of energy and passion that you had for much of the talk. Just be careful with getting into that. Overall, a good message. I just love that you're so passionate about Toastmasters that you inspired me to gosh, I really got to be more aware of this. Maybe I should be a governor too. That's something I think a lot of people here are qualified, and some have done it. And Mark, and so I think it's a good topic. Once you got the ball rolling and really talked about what you wanted. So I just think that's the key. Right off the bat, formulate what does I want to talk about and where do I want to go with it. But you did it on the fly so well. I know I'm being picky, but I think you're just a great natural speaker. You're so polished. Just add a little bit more organization and try not to get buried in the details, and just a great outside. I really enjoyed hearing your speech.
All right. Susan spoke for 3 minutes, 25 seconds. And Eric for 3 minutes, I'm going to say 3 minutes, 30 seconds. It was right there, and I was having an issue for a moment. So I'm going to say 3 minutes, 30 seconds, both qualified.
This the tool evaluate the two speaker, and Susan Palladini is evaluated for the promote. Promote give our the information, the knowledge regarding this MC station, and finally the Eric gave us is evaluated for the Jerry Nolan. Jerry Nolan today is volunteer to do he for the second speaker. He gave us very detailed information regarding our club and organization, how to run this. It's pretty good. And for me, at the first time, I know this. But I just only know it's our 39 district and 85 for our area, but for the division, okay that. Okay, anyway, it's I think it is important to us. We are this Toastmaster club. We need to know our club in the which location and in the whole Toastmaster International Club. This should know. Okay, today is a pretty good meeting, and everyone is for the field, for the rule in the on time is for field is pretty good. Right now, let me return this to our Toastmaster, David Chen.
Thank you, Jerry.
Do I have all the votes?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Guys, we take 7 seconds. Run your vote for best speaker, best topic speaker, and advice the evaluator. And pass you